So we strongly advocate that organizations shouldn't be pushing as much content possible to all of their friends, partners, etc. And we also do not believe, that organizations should be trying to grab as much content from all the commercial, free partner sources that you can do, because that just generates a lot of unnecessary work. We advocate more the pull method, where the incident response teams look at investigations, try to make sense out of them, and convert them into rules, something like Yara rules, which then can be shared with their partners, who then can look through their repositories, find the matches, run them through legal, and then share them back. In terms of the collecting the local data, today it's really about SIM and potentially pushing more log-based content into solutions like Splunk, Elasticsearch, or Hadoop. That's all very interesting, but it's not complete, because most producers of logs tend to filter out relevant data. So NetFlow samples the data, downsamples the data. Sandboxing solutions, dynamic analysis solutions tend to filter out all the things that they cannot do anything with. Endpoint solutions tend to only focus on things that's running in the memory and not onto all the other content that's available for them. So we believe that local threat intelligence is absolutely necessary if you're going to look for things unknown, if you're going to look for zero-day artifacts, if you're going to look for threats that are in the early stages of the kill chain. The really key part about Pecha was its initial vector. It was an email. It was a trusted updater to an Ukrainian auditing software,
right,
which then was able to bypass most of our control, and also would not be something that could be dynamically easily detonated. Using static file analysis methodology that ReversingLabs applies, we would have analyzed anything, whether good or bad, and given you very rich static behavior report about any object available. Now that then leads into having a really decent local intelligent repository, where you would be able to have all the possible evidence, so that you can downsample with the help of a really decent global intelligence repo, downsample to actual attack components that were part of the NotPetya attack. And in those days, really the early days of the attack, organization was very much subject to a very large deception campaign, where we were dealing with about 500,000 false positive components, which we needed to filter down to those 18 real components of the attack. When it comes to hunting and searching, things sort of fall into the two categories. You're either doing text-based searches or you're doing binary-based searches. Text-based searches are usually something around a database. SIM, Splunk, Elasticsearch, Hadoop, something that people call data lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for data lakes, ReversingLabs has phenomenal technology to convert binary content into very rich data sets of indicators, metadata, behavioral reports, structured elements, which are then relevant, for hunting for that's truly unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And that's usually on a much grander scale than a SIM. Yeah. SIM usually gives you 20 fields. We give maybe 20,000 or more. Using static file analysis methodology that ReversingLabs applies, we would have analyzed anything, whether good or bad, and given you very rich static behavior report about any object available. But as we are moving more and more into cloud, and network context becomes muddier and muddier, knowledge about what really flows through those network sessions, or what's packed into those emails or shared through different endpoint sessions becomes more and more important. And so we are advocating a singular infrastructure that will be able to cover pretty much everything organization needs, from Windows objects, Linux, macOS, mobile, all the way to anything that can be emailed or found on an endpoint. people tend to encrypt it, store the data, but then really need something like a retro Yara hunting capabilities, which ReversingLabs provides to be able to quickly search through this repository when something new is found.